So here we are again, another question. Is EPS, earnings per share, a good measure of financial success? Is this the right yardstick to be judging the performance of the CEO? So we've now established that our CEO is highly incentivized through his share options to maximize the share price of the company, which on the face of it is a good thing. This is achieved by maximizing two factors, earnings per share and the price-earnings ratio. And the price-earnings ratio is effectively a rating of the company. The higher the PE ratio, the higher the rating, the higher the esteem that the company is held in by the market. So let's consider an example. If you have a company with $5 of earnings per share and a price-earnings ratio of 10, this would imply a share price of 50. In fact, you'd be able to do it the other way around. You say that the earnings per share are $5, the price is 50, so the PE ratio is 10. But if you increase the earnings to $10 with the same PE ratio, the price will move up to 100, so the price will double, which is great. If the price-earnings ratio increases, i.e. the market evaluation of the company's prospects increase and they give it a higher rating, then the earnings per share is still $5, but the share price will be 75. But then if you get the double whammy and you increase earnings to $10 and the PE to 15 times, the share price will be 150, a 3 times increase on the original price. So you can see very easily how these factors can rapidly lead to share price increases. However, if the growth in the company is ordinary, you can simply earn more by putting up more. You can increase earnings, but it doesn't actually amount to any sort of managerial achievement. Quadruple the amount you commit to a savings account and you will quadruple the interest earnings. It follows logically. And this can be simply achieved in a company by retaining earnings, relying on a little inflation and allowing the growth to compound. And this happens all the time. Earnings are withheld from owners through a limited or non-existent dividend policy, and earnings growth follows automatically. Now, this is not to say that companies who don't distribute earnings are doing anything wrong, because if they can reapply those earnings better than distributing them, so if they can earn $2 from $1 of retained earnings, then it makes a lot more sense for them to retain earnings. So you can look at Amazon who do this, and of course Berkshire Hathaway is a classical example. The second factor which works in favour of the CEO is that there is no repricing of the option to take account of the additional capital or indeed of inflation, which grows headline earnings automatically. They should have a retained earnings or carrying cost factor which adjusts the price of the option upwards over time year by year. This doesn't happen. Now, Warren Buffett estimates that the average US company requires about $5 of additional capital to generate an additional dollar of annual pre-tax earnings. So retaining earnings is one way to do this. But what better way to accelerate this process than by going on an acquisition spree, which can be financed by stock, cash or debt. And the ratio of these will obviously have some impact on per share results. So it's not a completely free lunch. No one, however, questions the results if earnings increase, even if the net effect is the destruction of shareholder value. The amount of the increase can still be positive, even when the cost of achieving it is very high. But if you're only measuring earnings per share rather than returns on capital employed, this reduction in shareholder value is conveniently ignored. So now we have to look at the system that operates to help the managers promote the growth of the share price. And this is actually very simple. Public companies are required to report quarterly. Wall Street is filled, as I'm sure you're aware, with investment analysts who comment and forecast the company's performance. So there's this circle of information flow going round. The CEO spends a great deal of time cozying up to Wall Street to ensure that his company gets the most extensive and favourable coverage. So there's a big love-in. And as with everything, you have to ask why. Who benefits from this? Well, of course, it's all a money merry-go-round. Wall Street benefits from trading stocks. The analysts earn their keep when the institutional investors, who largely invest our money, our pension money and our savings, purchase shares. The CEO benefits from this money-go-round as he pushes his share price ever skyward. So you've got this very cozy little arrangement where everybody's working to everybody's mutual interest, except it seems that of the shareholders. So nobody stops to ask the question, is this the best or even the right way to measure the financial performance of the CEO and the company? And why would they? So our initial conclusion is therefore to be skeptical about this EPS yardstick. And of course, this has a big impact when you start looking at people making acquisitions and why they're making them. They're making them to essentially accelerate the growth of EPS almost regardless. But then again, if it wasn't working so well for the CEO, I guess they'd find something else that would. Call me a cynic. So who exactly is the CEO working for? So that's an explanation, if you like, of or a challenge to whether earnings per share is a good measure of financial success. I think we need to look at this in more detail, and we're going to do that in the subsequent lectures.